How do you choose the right supplier to work with when you're rebranding? Now, before choosing someone to work with on your brand, it's important to be clear what you want from brand and branding, especially when you're rebranding. You see, if you believe a brand is essentially a logo and visual designs, then that's all you're going to want and expect from branding. However, if you have an inkling that a brand is about more than a visual identity, for example, if you want to be able to use the brand as a tool to guide your business journey, then you're going to need more than just a visual identity. I've actually been through a number of branding exercises myself, which have just given me visual designs, even though I wanted more from the exercise. You see, I didn't know what was possible and who to turn to. Designers invariably ask about your vision, mission, and values and go through some exercises to give you more clarity about the future direction of your business. So it's natural, if that's all you know, to think that is going to be the answer to your branding needs. However, with the benefit of hindsight and experience, I know that this type of exercise, though valuable, isn't actually enough if you really want to find your North Star, so to speak, to guide your business journey when you go through branding. You see, it takes so much longer than most people realize to get true clarity around your business. I would therefore avoid embarking on any branding journey with a visual identity designer if I were in the market for branding now. You see, instead, I would first work with a brand strategist and then afterwards hire a visual identity designer. Now, if you're unclear about the difference between a brand strategy and a visual identity exercise, then suffice to say that if what you're after is a brand that can guide your business journey long term and help you to ultimately win in business, then you will need a brand strategist rather than a visual identity designer. Visual identity should actually be the very last part of branding, not the first. However, due to the widespread misunderstanding around what brand and branding actually mean, many businesses I come across, or those I interview on the Brand Tune podcast, have, like me, just had designs created for them in the name of branding. How can I tell? Well, the brand seems largely irrelevant to how they ran their business. They don't mention making strategic decisions guided by their brand strategy. It's all too clear to me from listening to their challenges that they just got a visual identity rather than a strategy by which to live the brand. It's important for businesses to understand their options because the right supplier who is appropriate for their needs and wants will make a huge difference to the outcome they get from branding. Now, if you want to understand more about why there is this widespread misunderstanding around branding and how to make sense of the terminology, then listen to my podcast, episode 25, on how branding and marketing impact your business. And finally, don't assume that getting brand strategy and visual identity is going to cost you more. In fact, with our IP and brand strategy service, you would actually end up paying less to have a brand that's distinctive and stands out and is protected than you would just going to a visual identity designer.